5:32.
Hey Jack, this is Paul.
Yeah. Hi, Paul.
I'm on my iPad now, but I'm trying to get onto my desktop computer so I can turn my camera on.
Okay.
But you guys go ahead and start if you'd like.
Okay. All right, it's 5:32. Jim, we're ready to go? Okay, then let's call the meeting of the School Building Committee for May 11th, 2022 to order. The first order of business, of course, is to establish our quorum. So, Jeremy, do you want to call the roll?
Good thing. Dave.
Here.
Jason.
Here.
Maury. Jackie. Jerry. Bill. Harry. Scott.
Here.
Ed.
Here.
Mark.
Here.
Rob. Steve. Mike.
Here.
Andrew.
Here.
Gail. Jeremy Gay.
Here.
Jay.
Here.
Okay,
Jack.
here?
And Mayor Harut.
Here.
Okay, that gives us a quorum. So, the next thing to do is that we have the minutes from April 13th that Jeremy just sent out. If you've had a chance to read them. Rob Geddes is here now. But we don't have Jackie Romanicki. So, Jay, would you like to be the designated
Second.
motion maker?
Make a motion to accept the minutes.
Okay. And Jerry Freecott has just joined us.
Second.
You'll be the designated seconder?
Sure.
Okay. Is there any discussion? Hearing none. Jeremy, do you want to call the roll?
All right, on the minutes. Dave.
Yes.
Jason.
Yes.
Jerry.
Yes.
Scott.
Yes.
Ed.
Yes.
Mark.
Yes.
Rob.
Yes.
Mike.
Yes.
Andrew.
Yes.
Jeremy.
Yes.
Jay.
Yes.
Jack.
Yes?
And the Mayor.
Yes.
Okay, that passes unanimously. So, Steve, would you like to give us the construction update?
Sure. Sure. Why isn't this working? Everyone see the screen?
We can.
Okay, so exterior probably looks a lot like it did last month. Some detailing that's going on is finishing up these small canopy entrances on the exterior. There's a couple of them, and we are starting exterior hardscape. So we're getting ready to pour this main entrance right here. We've started some of the masonry walls and the concrete stairs that are at the entrance, at the main entrance here. We are working on some site work and leveling, again, prepping for more walkways over here that we'll be pouring in the next couple of weeks. But the facade and the rest of the building remains unchanged. We are 99.9% with the roof. The only reason why we're not 100% is there's still a couple of penetrations, but the field of the roof itself and the flashing and the edge metal and all that kind of good stuff is done. It's just, like I said, a couple of minor penetrations at this point. Last piece on this elevation is this loading bay that we've been using throughout construction to get materials in and out. That'll start to be closed up next week. So metal panels and the permanent windows will be in there. So now at that point, it'll look finally look finished on this exterior north elevation here. And then if we spin around, again, there's not a lot of new features on the building proper itself. Again, more site work being done, more curb, more sidewalk has been installed. You'll start to see that our trailers are moving. We're getting rid of all of our trailers and the subcontractor trailers so that we can eventually pave this gigantic lot that's right here. We are moving our trailers down over at the current Blue Pride bus entrance at the other end of the school. So end of the month, all these trailers will be gone and we'll be relocating down the street a little bit. Other items from this elevation is we're starting to prep the loading dock area. And then again, you see more curb and more concrete walks being placed and prepped to get ready for this lot. We've also started to install light pole bases, and you'll see a lot more curb and islands take shape here over the next couple of weeks as well. Back of the building, again, some minor work has been done to the exterior, just finishing up a little bit of edge metal and panel work right around the clear story top elevations here. You can see that the sunshade has been installed, a nice A on it. And then you'll notice that the pool and the small gym building is now gone. Almost done with demolition. You can still see we've got some walls, a little bit of the pool left here, and a little bit up close to the existing school here that we're working on for the next couple of weeks. This is a little more sensitive, careful, so it takes a little bit more time to make sure we do it safe and don't damage anything. But other than that, Jack asked a great question earlier at our meeting. We did not find any mysteries or unknowns over here, which is a great sign. It is the fear as we move forward with demolition. So good news that we are 1 for 1 and not finding anything undone. And then elsewhere in the back here, we're starting to prep, as I'll zoom in here. There's a lot of concrete walls back here in Hardscape, so we're starting to prep and form all of those walls as well. And the other elevation, again, it's a good shot showing the pool and the gym being removed. This elevation, we're good to go here. Reminder, this looks unfinished because that's where the maintenance addition will go later this fall once we're able to remove this section of the existing school. And then this is our new trailer home. Then inside the building, fourth floor, third floor, a lot of you toured last month. So fourth floor, third floor looks similar. It's finished. It's final cleaned, minor punch list activities going on there. This is the media center. It keeps getting more and more finished. A lot of the wood panels have been installed on columns. The glass, it's hard to see here, but the glass railings have been installed. The pieces of glass are in this section here. This picture is a little older, but the glass has been installed in the stair and this section of rail as well. So this section, this area is starting to take shape and look really nice. Oops.
Steve, is that wood paneling like made in a factory or is it fabricated on site?
It's made in a shop. So they'll field measure it. It's cut to size in the shop, and then they'll install and assemble it in the field. So we are starting to move equipment into some of the shop spaces. This is the dentistry shop. So you'll start to see the dentistry chairs and the casework being assembled and installed. For instance, this is down on the first floor. Kitchen equipment is being installed, both in the main kitchen that serves the servery for lunches, and then the culinary kitchen for teaching. Both are installed, starting to be installed, I should say. This is the gym. The wood floor is 99% installed. There's a couple of rows that are hard to see here that they're going to finish up tomorrow, and then next week we will start sanding operations throughout the floor here. But this looks great because the finished permanent lighting is on, the painting is all finished, and the floor, like I said, is almost there itself. Other highlights. This is the cafeteria ceiling. Again, this is about 98% done. It'll be done by the end of the week, all the wood panel. And then the electrician's been following along with the permanent lighting. And our ductwork sub has been working to get the vents and the ductwork installed. As we spin around here, the curtain wall, the storefront and glass has been installed at the gym entrance here. So this is all permanent. The brick is complete. We start to see more columns being installed. They're working their way up. So what they do is they do all the lower sections, then they'll go up and do the second level and then third level. So they're making their way around. We got more painting and trim completed throughout this section. So this is the permanent wood trim here. Casework is going in. The marquee is starting to be installed outside the auditorium here. And then, this is a shot of the carpentry space. Final painting is done in here. Final permanent lighting is installed. Again, all the shop space is starting to take shape. Our focus right now is to not only get the shops done, but you can see we're running out of storage room, right? So we gave the subcontractors hey, this Friday everything's got to be out or it's getting chucked. We're at that point where you see a lot of materials over in the calf area, because that was the last open space we had. So everything's kind of funneled in there. Now it's next couple weeks, it's out of the building, get it done so we can start the flooring in here, and then the flooring in the shops. So the flooring in the shops is more of a paint as opposed to the LVT or the carpet in other areas, but still it's work that we need to get done. So that's the major focus as we move forward in the next couple of weeks. And then this is just a shot of the plumbing shop up on the second floor. This workspace has been completed and installed. All these railings are installed now. So we're getting there. This is just a shot of the second floor. We were starting punch lists on the second floor, but this is just typical shot of how everything looks. All this blue is temp protection, but all the carpet's done, all the wood paneling is done, permanent lights are on. So again, starting to take shape there as well.
Steve, what about the interior of the auditorium?
It's not as exciting to look at yet, Jack, because let's see if I can pull it up. It hasn't. What's progressed is hard to see, quite honestly, in the pictures. A lot of things being done up high or behind the proscenium wall at the stage that I don't have a great picture of.
Okay. Can you give us an update on the seating for the auditorium?
Yep. So we have the first shipment of seats are actually coming a day earlier than we had anticipated, which is great. They're coming, I believe, the 31st of May. And what that is, let's see if I can show you on this picture. So this is a shot from the stage looking out. And this first shipment of seats will help. It'll be the left and right hand sides. It's not the center area. So the left hand and right hand sides, both on the lower level and up on the balcony level, are one type of fabric, one color fabric, and they are different from the center. So that first color of fabric is in this first shipment. So that arrives, the 31st, a couple of days to shake everything out, and then we start installation. Then the second wave will come in July, roughly July 20th right now is what we're tracking.
Okay.
There's a lot of work going on behind the scenes here. It's hard to pick up. It's just not a great shot. But the wall covering has been installed on a lot of the lower and upper levels. This is actually wall covering. I know it kind of looks like the black paint, but it's actually permanent wall covering. A lot of it's been installed down below. We were a little short on this material, but we just got that delivery today, which is great news. So they'll finish that up in the next week as well.
So Steve, when I walked in, the countdown clock said 36 days, I believe.
Yes, it did.
And we are still on time?
Yeah, we are right there, Jack. Yep.
Excellent. And I know we'll do all the budget numbers shortly, but we're on budget as well, correct?
Yes, we are. Yep.
Mike has a question.
So I'm not gonna sit here and tell you that there won't be anything going on after June 16th, but we are on track to receive the temporary certificate of occupancy on the 16th. In fact, we have started a list of activities that will be going on after the 16th, but it is nothing that will prohibit us from getting that certificate, and it won't affect the furniture or anyone from moving in and the other activities that are taking place either.
And most importantly, August 25th.
Correct. So, a lot of the activities, it's things like, maybe a little bit of obviously punch list and some commissioning type items, but then there'll be like some graphics going on the walls and maybe a little bit of work in like the TV studio that was kind of a late change, or some signage, or we're also going to be moving some equipment that's currently in use at the school until the end of the school year. So some of that gets relocated into the school. So that'll happen this summer. And then, of course, there's a lot of exterior site work that'll happen after the 16th as well. Mostly, a lot of it will happen back here in the future bus loop area.
And the superintendent's on track for July 11th? Is that correct?
Yes, I believe so, Antoinette, right? That's the first area that's going to get their furniture moved in.
So Mike had a question.
Yes.
First a comment, then a question. So Steve, I got to tell you, quite impressive with all the supply shortages that are going around. You guys are really doing a hell of a job over there. I mean, it's just very, very impressive, number one.
Thank you.
Number two, could you go to the side of the, almost where Drummond Street is, and show that side of the building there? As I was walking that,
Oh, yep.
the first, it actually shows where, right there.
Okay.
Almost where the new road's going to meet the old on Rathburn Willard.
Back here?
Yep. So I was walking that with the police chief a couple of weeks ago to talk about the no parking. Is that the actual profile? Is that the binder course that you're showing that's supposed to meet that? It looks like it's an unnatural curve to what the original plan was, because
No, the original, the final plan, Mike, this road travels north and there's a 90-degree turn. It's closer to 90
right.
before it turns down this way. So that work will take place this summer.
So I guess what our question was, by looking at it, So will you have your cursor right now? Does that actually get moved over to the right? Because if you were to straighten that road out, it looks like it's awful close to the edge of the building where the, I think is that where your gas service comes in?
Yeah, the gas comes through here, and this is the generator. And
You understand what I'm saying? If you look at that point right now, it looks like one road's going right by the other road, and they both have to meet and almost come to a 90 where it goes to Brennan.
Yes, the entrance to Brennan is a 90-degree turn.
Right, but if that's the binder coat and they're supposed to top over the course of that, those roads, it's gonna be an unnatural match. It's not going to,
I don't think that's the binder course, is it, Steve?
It looks like that's the
this
sidewalk.
right here. It's a binder course. It's a temporary binder, but it's not. There's not. It kind of ends here just to help with winter conditions and tracking of mud and all that. So, but the permanent road is not. There's no binder for this section.
Okay, so that profile we're looking at is actually gonna change. It almost looks like it's gonna have to stop where that intersection is right there.
Yeah, so I think I understand what you're saying now, Mike. Sorry, I'm a little slow. But this section right here will never line up straight like this, if that's what you're saying, right? So there's a little bit of a kink here, but this section does. There's a 90 here, but it's not. But this angle is not a 90 to meet up with this section of road.
There's a curve.
Yeah, that's so.
Like, so this
Yep.
this edge of road does not, extend where this, piece of equipment is, if that's what you're asking.
It does. It just looks like right now. It looks like an unnatural turn. So if I'm thinking that's the binder course for the finish, then there's going to be an unnatural curve there, unless they plan on going back, cutting into that binder because they just put it there for winter conditions, and then kind of changing the angle a little bit.
Yeah, there's a little bit of work to be done here, Mike.
Okay, that's more of my question. It was just funny because you walk down that fence line, it's like, well, this doesn't look right. It doesn't look like it
Right.
meets.
Yep.
So, Steve, to that point, is it safe to say that the intersection will be about where you have that pile of rock right there?
Yeah. So this picture, this kind of extending to right about where my cursor is, and then we go this way.
And Steve, if I remember right, the activities in the summer are being finished about August 11th. So in the 2 weeks between August 11th and August 25th is when all of that work is going to be complete, correct?
Yes.
And Mike, as long as you're talking, the traffic light at the other end of the road, how's that doing?
We're still on schedule to be completely finished by the 26th, before the 26th of August. So keeping our fingers crossed because we might have to reach out to you because you seem to have a better supply line than I do.
Let us know. You got Dave's number.
Steve, just a question where it looks like, are those yellow bollards up against the building? And what are they protecting?
Yeah, these were a requirement of Eversource to protect this equipment here,
Is
so that
that,
no vehicle can't drive into it.
okay, so there's nothing like the old grist mill, something like that? Vehicles going into it that could cause fires or anything
Correct.
like that? Okay.
Yeah, so is that the generator, Steve?
Right here, there's a lot of, yeah, but mostly that's the generator that is being protected.
And the sewer pumping station somewhere there too, isn't it?
Yes, right here.
Okay, are there other questions on the construction update? Hearing none. Where do you want to go next, Steve?
We've got a change order
Okay,
we're seeking approval for. So there are 3 GCRs associated with it. It's change order 20. The first is GCR 134, which funny Mike mentioned it, has to do with some striping and fire lane revisions, some of which had to do with that section that we were just looking at, and some of it had to do with a bike lane out in this main section of Rathburn Willard. So that was $7,837.08. GCR 148 is a student attendance system requested by the school. It's a series of several iPads that allow students to scan their ID, and then it takes automatic attendance. And there will be 12 of them placed at the main entrances, north and south of the building, to allow that process to go quickly and smoothly in the morning. So that is $157,610.20.
Steve, if you
GCR
could just stop right there.
Yes.
Mark, I know that you have put a lot of time and effort into figuring out what we need for this and how to get the students in. And this 12 stations, you figured out the math, correct?
Yeah, we did the math. It's about 14 students per minute, which is pretty quick. Again, we've never seen them work. And if that's not going to suffice, then we'll have to be buying more on a dime when school starts.
But the discussion we had last week at the OAC meeting was that one stanchion wasn't going to work.
Oh, no.
And the kids it'd be 9 o'clock before they all got in the building.
Right.
So
Exactly.
So the key here is to buy not too many, but enough so that we can get them in without long lines, correct?
We hope. Yep.
And so this is your best estimate as to the number that will
Yeah,
get
in
the
conjunction
kids in
with
the
the
building.
vendor supplying the system, they thought this was a reasonable, amount of check-in points for 1,700 students to enter the building in a 10 or 15-minute time frame.
Okay, thank you, Mark.
Mark, I'm sorry. So do we, the other doors don't open? Do we funnel them towards these? How do they get the message that they have to go through?
They only have access to 2 doorways in the morning. So there's a bus entrance in the back near the cafeteria, and then there's a parent drop-off entrance in the front near the principal's office.
Okay.
So there'll be positions in both areas. And again, we'll see if we have the right number.
There will be other doors for staff to enter, correct?
Yes. Yeah.
And those have the keying, and they have to swipe their cards to get through those doors, right?
Authorization to use those doors. Yeah.
Okay, go ahead, unless there's any other questions on that. What else did you have on this change order, Steve?
Just had one more, GCR 155, which was some entrances, some revisions to the entrance walkways out front here, some minor added pads and curbing here. So that was $5,180.35. Total for the change order, $170,627.63. As always, all 3 were vetted by Skanska, KBA, and their consultants before tonight.
Okay, so a motion would be in order to approve change order number 20?
Move to approve.
Oh, Jackie, you've joined us. We were wondering where you were. Jay,
So I made the
Second.
motion.
you're excused. Jay,
I'd like to make a motion to accept change order number 20.
okay, thank you. And Andrew, you seconded it?
Second.
Okay,
Yes.
thank you. Is there any discussion? Hearing none. Jeremy?
All right, we'll call the roll, starting with Dave,
Yes.
Jason,
Yes.
Jackie,
Yes.
Gary,
Yes.
Scott,
Yes.
Ed,
Yes.
Mark,
Yes.
Rob,
Yes.
Mike,
Yes.
Andrew,
Yes.
Jeremy,
Yes.
Kay,
Yes.
Jack,
Yes.
and Mayor Haru.
Yes.
Passes unanimously. Steve, are there any new change orders on the log that we need to hear about?
There's only one CR. There were some signage revisions that came out. KBA had taken a look at a few things. So there's some signage and graphics changes throughout the building, and approximately 10,821. Again, we just got this change recently, so we're sending it out for pricing and haven't fully vetted it yet.
Okay. Then contingency?
Yep, so we are seeking approval for 3 transfers tonight. GCT 052 Cafeteria Ceiling Coordination. If you remember, we adjusted the portion of the ceiling closest to the media center. We added a vertical wall section and adjusted some of the ceiling panels to help with your view if you're standing from the media center, so you're not looking at a lot of the ductwork and some of the things that we didn't think was, or KVA didn't agree would be great to look at. And then we added some paint, some accent paint colors on the cafeteria side looking up at the media center as well. So that was $21,097.31. GCT 56, glass guardrail install ownership. So we had some glass guardrail that the Miss Metals subcontractor owned originally, but we felt it best that our glass sub actually install the work, since it was glass. It's a little sensitive, and we'd rather have someone that handles that kind of material all the time install that scope. So there's a little bit of a delta in cost to do that. It was $3,994, but it made a ton of sense to us to make sure it was done correctly. And then lastly, GCT 58, sliding window at area D. This was just a misbuy. It's in the corridor, looking on the second floor, looking down at the gym. It was just missed during buyout. That is $2,876.05. So 3 total GCTs. Again, reminder, these do not increase the GMP at all.
Okay, any questions? Is there a
I have a
motion?
question.
Oh, yeah, go ahead, Jerry.
Why isn't the contractor that had that glasswork, why isn't he eating this? Why are we being charged another $4,000 for it?
So the sub that we bought the scope of work with had a cost to do the work, and the glass sub's cost to do the same work was a little more expensive. That's why it's a contingency transfer. They just have different rates for the work that they do, and they needed a little more time to do it right, but we fought the delta, the $4,000, to assure that it was done correctly, because it was sensitive. It was glass. It's at a high profile area of the job. We thought it was money well spent. So we can't force a sub to give us a credit for more than what they carried originally for the scope of work.
Yeah, but isn't he on the contract to do that work?
He is. He's under contract for a certain dollar amount, and he gave back that certain dollar amount. And then we asked the glass sub for a price to do the same work, and it was a little more expensive because their rate is just more expensive for what they do.
Steve, what's the
How
overall,
about that?
like,
What's that?
so the $4,000's the delta between the 2 subcontractors?
Yes.
So what's the overall, or what's the total for the scope of work? Like the big, or is it a whole package that?
You know what?
Can't-
I don't have those numbers in front of me,
Okay. But the
but I can definitely get back to you.
It
4,000.
was like 16.
Small.
It was like 16, we got back 12.
Yeah, I think it was,
Well,
I
cost
think
16.
you're right, Age, at 16 versus 12.
Yeah.
Okay, are there any other questions on that? Then a motion is in order to approve the contingency transfers.
Move to approve.
Thank you,
Second?
thank you. Any further discussion? Jeremy?
All right, on the GCTs, Dave,
Yes.
Jason,
Yes.
Jackie,
Yes.
Gary,
Yes.
Scott,
Yes.
Ed,
Yes.
Mark,
Yes.
Bob,
Yes.
Mike,
Yes.
Andrew,
Yes.
Jeremy,
Yes.
Ed,
Yes.
Jack,
Yes,
Mayor Hurd.
Yes.
passes unanimously. Are there any other GCT items that you need to bring to our attention, Steve?
No, there are no new GCTs on the log. In fact, there's only one that is actually open still as a potential.
And that's moving assistance during the summer, right?
Yes. Yep.
Okay,
And then the last item I have, Jack, is just the update on allowances.
okay.
And the update is that we are still trending right at budget. Again, there's some that went over and there's some that went under, so we're moving things around, but as a whole, take the big lump of allowances, we are right at budget. And it's been great because we've been able to help solve some problems and then help the owner buy some new equipment and buy some extra things with the savings, so it's working out great.
All right, good. I know, Steve, that there was an issue, I don't know if I should be asking you this, but there was an issue that some of the equipment that was projected to be moved over from some of the shops was not in the best of condition. Have we resolved those issues?
No.
We have not.
No, we have
Okay,
not.
Mark, can you just update the committee on what's going on there?
Sure. There are 3 offset printing presses in the graphic design, graphic arts program that date to the 50s or 60s. There was a concern about moving them due to their age and condition. Apparently, at the beginning of the project, it was proposed to buy new, but the cost was prohibitive. So we became aware of this last week and have been asking the teacher in that area to either confirm or deny that the program requires the 3 presses. We haven't gotten a clear answer, and we're waiting to get some pricing on what exactly it does cost to replace those items for his shop.
Okay, that's certainly,
So we have no information at this point.
but it's important that the committee know that that issue is out there.
Yep.
Okay. Anything else, Steve, for you?
No, I am all set, thank you.
Excellent. Craig, any updates from the design team?
Yeah, good evening, everybody. No updates from the design team. Steve's handled everything very well. Everything's progressing very well. Working as a team as we work through punch list. As Steve mentioned, is basically the top 2 floors of the building are essentially complete, minus little touch-ups here and there. And we're working our way halfway through the 2nd floor, and then the 1st floor just remaining. So overall, we're in really good shape. Quality's good, and something that everybody should be proud of. And then now that the warm weather's coming, the public's going to start to see what's happening on the outside now too, in the yard work.
Okay, any questions for Craig? Mary Ann and Jeanette, which of you are we going to next?
Did you want to go to the invoices?
Well, we could certainly talk about the invoices, Anjanette, and we could also talk about your regular monthly update on the budget.
Or let me share my screen. Okay. Can everybody see that?
Now we can.
So this month, Jeremy's going to go through the invoices in a minute. So for this month, we have invoices from Skanska, Consigli, and KBA, as well as we are starting to receive some invoices for some of the FF&E items, specifically the AV and IT procurement, as well as we're seeing invoices from the move manager, and we had our first bill from the actual mover, and that was for the, you dropped off some boxes and there was a small move that was performed, just moving some items out the small electronics box. So this month we had Skanska, our invoice was for $101,770. Castle Booze had their fee of $123,715. That was their base fee, and then that also included some of the consultant fees. Consigli's invoice this month had $5,729,680. That was for contract work and stored materials. They billed for some of the previously approved change orders, a total of, that's this area right here, $100,353.13, bringing their total invoice to $5,830,033.16. That's the total invoice. There's retainage that's withheld, and that's this value down here. This is the amount certified, which is what Jeremy will be asking for. We'll be asking for approval on after this. The miscellaneous project cost here, the $23,000. That is the fees for the move manager. I believe that includes the fees for Intertech, which is the window testing, as well as Sterling, who is the mover. That's that floor move I just mentioned. The FF&E items procured were specifically related to the AV and IT POs that had been written. There's a couple from Hub, there's another one from Pro AV, and we'll go through them, but this is all related to the AV and the technology. It's going to be installed in the new school. So overall, we have a total of $6,398,026.74 being billed for the project this month. We're billed out 78% overall. The construction is actually at 80%. And over here I have the, I keep track of the change orders. So for the owner's construction contingency funds the change orders. And so we had a budget of $2,230,883. And with the changes through change order 19, that deducts the $1,261,246, which leaves us about $969,637 left to fund any potential change orders, with not including the ones we just approved moments ago. But I'll update that number next month. So I don't know if anybody has any questions about the overall budget or values.
And so you're recommending that we pay all of the bills except for yours, which Jeremy will recommend?
Yes, I would appreciate that.
And so I'll ask you the most important question. We are on budget?
We are on budget.
Excellent. Jeremy, do you have anything to add to the bill paying?
Yes, if I could, I'm going to share my screen briefly. All right, can you see this, the agenda up?
Yeah.
All right, so yes, I reviewed cancer and recommend that for payment. The two you see here on the bottom highlighted, Heartland, an invoice took a little while to get approval, and then I omitted it, getting on this agenda in time. And then you see STV. I got that this afternoon after you would have been able to review the agenda. So I added it here. I have it printed off and ready to go for the mayor's approval tomorrow. But I wanted to show you, rather than have STV wait a whole nother month to get paid, I wanted to try to get it on this month's agenda. And Jeanette has reviewed and approved that one as well.
And the Heartland PO there, that's for the point of sale. I believe that's for the the cash register system. Craig, is that correct?
School lunch.
Yes, that's the correct,
Right,
for
right,
the lunch program, the run system.
right. So that's been, that was submitted and now that's why I guess that just came in. So I'll include these two invoices in next month's, requisition, but since we're here, we can hopefully approve them tonight.
Okay,
I have a question. It looks like the Heartland invoice is on there twice.
Yes.
Yeah, this was,
My fault. So it is on there twice. It's the same exact invoice. I thought I had missed it. And then I talked with Anjanette about it and said, okay, now it's approved. We'll put it on the schedule. And I had already done that. So yeah, my fault. This total number should be less 13,019.49. So let me do some quick math.
the number, it should be 6,129,077.68.
6,129,077.68.
6,129,077 with 68 cents, yes.
Okay,
Yeah.
all right, so is there
So I
a,
believe the motion would be the invoices as presented in the agenda this evening, plus this STV invoice from 5/11.
sounds good to me. Jackie?
So moved.
Second.
Thank you. Is there any discussion? Jeremy, do you want to call the roll?
Certainly, and sorry about that duplicate. Dave,
Yes.
Jason,
Yes.
Jackie,
Yes.
Jerry,
Yes.
Scott,
Yes.
Ed,
Yes.
Mark,
Yes.
Rob,
Yes.
Mike,
Yes.
Andrew,
Yes.
Jeremy,
Yes.
Jay,
Yes.
Jack,
Yes,
and Mayor Haru.
Yes.
passes unanimously. Anjanette, do you have anything else you want to bring to our attention?
I don't think so.
What about Mary Ann? Mary Ann?
Yeah, I just wanted to say that I think we should all be very pleased in this whole entire group that things have progressed as well as they have, and we're coming across the finish line, and so far so good. And I think we had good news today with the first part of the demolition, and we have more to do, but no surprises in terms of environmental concerns. So things are going very well and going to plan. So we just hope that continues, and I believe it will for the duration of the project.
Excellent. All right, the agenda says our next meeting is June 8th, but it's really June 15th. Because the 1st of June is a Wednesday, and we want to give the contractor and our consultants enough time to process the bills. So June 15th. The meeting after that will be July 13th. We don't know where that meeting will be. It will not be in this room that we're sitting in right now, that's for sure. It might be in the new building, it might be in City Hall, and it might be fully remote using the AACS studios. So we'll know more when we have our last meeting in this room on June 15th, but at least you can mark your calendars for July 13th. So, does anybody have anything else they want to bring up?
Yeah, Jack, I just had a question. Are we gonna get another tour through the building at the end?
I think that we should certainly talk to Steve about that. If we meet on July 13th in this building, we certainly would. Whatever our August meeting is, I'm thinking that is very likely to be in the new building. So are you thinking about getting in before the August meeting, Jerry?
Whenever.
Okay. Steve, why don't you think about when we could have another walkthrough for the group, and get back to us?
Sure. Yeah, the summer, it'll be busy inside with mover activities. So Anjanette will talk, because I know sometimes they work extended hours and we don't want to get in their way. But Jack, we can come up with something.
Sure.
Thank you. Anybody else have anything?
Mary Ann, do we want to talk about Verizon or no?
I think that's something that we can address outside this meeting, but certainly, if we need assistance from anybody in this meeting, my understanding is, Mark received an email from, I want to say it was from Verizon, Mark.
It was our ISP.
It was your ISP, that they were waiting for approval of a right-of-way from the city, and I'm not sure in this group who is spearheading that effort.
Jeremy, has somebody asked us for an easement to bring the service into the building?
Not to my knowledge. I've reached out to the mayor's secretary when I got that message this afternoon. She pulled the N-Grid easement to get in, but right-of-way, I don't know what they quite meant. They don't get a right-of-way, so far as I know. They would have to get an easement. I don't know whose court this falls into. I don't know the lead time to get anything like it. I just learned about it being a possible issue this afternoon, and to be honest, I'm not quite sure my first steps on it. So, like all things in the city that don't quite have a home, and I need some institutional framework, I'm going to call Gary Arasian in the morning and see what he can tell me. And then we'll go from there. But yeah, right now I'm really not sure where it sits.
I feel your pain.
Yeah, so I would imagine that using the term right-of-way is not technically correct, that they're looking for an easement to bring their wires into the building, and their fiber and cables and whatever else they need to bring in. So I think, Jeremy, I'd certainly be willing to help you out with that in any way I can, but if you have that email and we can talk to the person who sent the email, they probably have a standard document that they want executed, and what process we have to go through to get that executed, that's the bigger question. Does it need to go through the school committee, through the city council, or both? But we can certainly figure that out tomorrow.
I'll forward you what we received.
Thank you. All right, anything else we need to bring up? All right, then the motion is in order to adjourn at 6:24.
Move to adjourn.
Second.
Jeremy?
All right, Dave,
Yes.
Jason,
Yes.
Jackie,
Yes.
Gary,
Yes.
Scott,
Yes.
Ed,
Yes. Yes.
Mark,
Yes.
Rob,
Yes.
Mike,
Yes.
Andrew,
Yes.
Dale. I think I've missed you on the previous ones.
Yes.
Sorry about that. Jeremy,
Yes.
Jay,
Yes.
Jack,
Yes?
and Mayor Haru.
Yes.
We are adjourned. Have a good evening, everyone.
Night.
Thank you. Good night, everybody.